Hi, I'm so glad you're here today. I'm Jessica. I'm a speech language pathologist who's been practicing for over 10 years. Welcome to your introduction to Praat. What even is Praat anyway? Praat is a free software that converts audio signal, or things that we hear, into a visual signal, a picture. Linguists and clinicians use Praat to help confirm the presence of voice disorders, speech challenges, and to do some cool sound manipulation things. So, what is it? Praat is an audio recording app that records high quality audio and converts that signal into a picture. This program allows us to identify patterns in the voice and sounds and measure meaningful numbers like your pitch values, how high you can go, how low you can go, how loud or soft you are, and it can help clinicians identify any areas where you may require some support. I first learned how to use this program at McMaster University in my undergrad in the Cognitive Science of Language program. It was really cool in phonetics to be able to acoustically analyze the properties of sound and to see what speech sounds look like on a picture. So now let's dive into why is this information important. Converting audio signals into visual is helpful because it is a much more reliable method of getting baseline measures for voice disorders, as an example, that might not necessarily be obvious just to the human ear. It's a way for us to get quantifiable data that we can compare to norms. So even though we may not be able to hear all the nuances of speech and the audio signal and voice, we are able to see it on the waveform and spectrogram. In school, I learned how to read the waveform, which is these squiggly lines, and the spectrogram under here. And there once was a time where I could tell you what vowel or consonant sound this would be based off of these dark bands in here. So for linguists, this is a helpful tool to see how phonemes vary between languages and to study phonetics and phonology. And for speech pathologists and voice therapists, it's helpful for us to be able to see the harmonicity of the voice and see how clearly our sound wave signals are coming through and being represented in images. So Praat is one of the most common softwares that is used in the study of speech sounds across languages, phonetics, and for analyzing potential voice disorders. Some of the basic functions of Praat include being able to record speech samples, view the waveforms, view the spectrograms. You can measure pitch and formants, which are harmonic frequencies. You can label the audio with text grids. You can build phonetic experiments. Maybe in another video, I'll pull out one that I did in my undergrad. And you can even generate synthetic speech. Your deep fake nightmares come true. So there are two main windows in Praat. The first one is the object window. So anytime you record or open a new sound, that is what is going to appear in the objects window. Once the sound is recorded, you can click View and Edit, and that opens up the editor window. This is where you can actually look at the translated audio in a picture format. Importantly, in the screenshot in front of us now, you can see that the total length of that sample is much longer than 10 seconds. So in order to get the spectrogram and to do some acoustic analysis, you have to zoom in to less than 10-second selection. But this is where we find out our vocal values like jitter, shimmer, noise to harmonics ratio, and fundamental frequencies. If you think back to my video about resonance and how if you ding a metal tuning fork, it will create a simple sine wave. Well, you can see, based off of this real sample that I screenshot, the human voice does not produce a beautiful, pure tone sound wave. Instead, because our vocal folds are made up of 5 delicate layers of tissue and they vibrate in such a complex way, we produce a complex waveform, and that is what can be seen in this view. So this waveform gives us information about the loudness of the vocal sample and the timing of speech. The part that I think is really cool though is the spectrogram. So we're going to go into this in a lot more detail in later episodes, but the spectrogram shows you these dark bands. These are called formants, And those are the harmonic frequencies in our voice. And you can actually interpret and translate these spectrograms into phonetics and speech sounds because each of these black band lines correspond to a specific point of contact or restriction in our resonating cavities. It's really cool. So, the benefits of having both the waveform and the spectrogram are that it provides a comprehensive view of speech. You get the rate, the volume, and the pitch or timbre or resonance, which can give you all the details you need to make a comprehensive analysis. Praat is a common tool used by linguists because it's free. There is a different program called VisiPitch, but I believe that costs over $2,000. So linguists like to use the free stuff because it's great and it's really incredible what features are available on this free program. You can really customize the settings for precise measurements. It's pretty straightforward to use once you know how to do it. So, in this mini series that I'm planning, I'm hoping to review the following concepts with you: show you how to record audio samples, show you simple ways to clean up signals, show you how to understand spectrogram data, how to track pitch variations, how to analyze the formants or those dark black bands in the spectrogram, how to use text grids to annotate the basics of acoustic analysis, and fun party tricks with Pratt. We'll talk all about spectrograms and nerd out about the cool stuff you can read from those. I'll show you some neat tips and tricks to help you make the most out of Pratt. I'll walk you through what settings you should use when making a new recording, show you how to look at pitch contours and how to assess pitch variations in speech. We'll talk more about formants and how cool they are. Apparently, I've got more tricks up my sleeve for you. And then for fun, we'll analyze some sounds together. Honestly, once you know all this cool stuff, there's no going back. When I hear people talk, I'm sometimes visualizing what their waveform and spectrogram might look like. Acoustic science is a lot cooler than you might think. So, there was your overview of Pratt. Stay tuned for lots more nerdy fun in store. Thank you for coming. Have a wonderful day.